breaking rules when necessary. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment is going to be brought to you by A1 Gear and Auto. Look, man, if your check engine light is on, stop by A1 Gear and Auto. Let them diagnose it for you. Figure out a route to get it fixed. Man, they work on everything except diesel engines, but they really specialize in your rear end, front end differentials, transfer cases, stuff of that nature. I've said it a bunch, and hey, I know they're very happy with the business we're sending them. So what I'm saying must be resonating. If you got, it's getting into hunting season, you got a new truck, you put some big rims and tires on it. You need to do two things. You need to upgrade your brakes. Those factory brakes are not meant to handle those 22, 23, 24-inch wheels with the big tires. And not just off-road tires either. Say you got the low profiles on it. Your factory brakes are not meant to stop that. They will go out on you. But also, your rear end differential, it ain't meant to pull those. You need to upgrade your rear end. And if you upgrade your rear end, if you got four-wheel drive, you got to upgrade your front end, or you can't use your four-wheel drive. Start at A1 Gear and Auto right there in Florence. They'll take care of all of it. Check them out online. Just go to Facebook, search A1 Gear, or give them a call at 601-939-1060. They do AC work, radiators, the whole 9 yards. Again, everything but work on diesel engines. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Hey, let's take the temperature in the room down just a little bit for a segment here anyway. Happy birthday to Ashley Babbitt, a real American hero, patriot Ashley Babbitt. Hopefully they'll rename some of these Democrat schools after Ashley Babbitt, so these kids will learn who a real American hero is. Starting somewhere like Jackson. In Jackson, Mississippi, we need to rename some schools after Kyle Rittenhouse and Ashley Babbitt. Just my opinion. But you know what will end up happening is they will name some after George Floyd, if they hadn't already. And this is also your daily reminder: George Floyd killed himself that day. He was not killed by the cops. He killed himself. So anyway, happy birthday to Ashley Babbitt. We love you here at the Clay Edwards Show. We would have stood with Ashley. The day of January 6th, I sat there in my office at work and I watched that all unfold. First time I ever ended up in Facebook jail, all I typed in the computer that day was "let it burn," or "burn it all down," or something like that. Didn't say what, who, when, where, none of that. Called a 3-day or 1 week suspension. And I got home that night and I used a different login and I did a Facebook Live that night. And we talked about Ashley Babbitt. That was the lead of it. And I said it then and I'll say it now. They should be statues of Ashley Babbitt all throughout America. Tear down some of these Confederate statues if you want. Replace it with Ashley Babbitt. Replace it with the January 6 POWs. I tell you, I was talking with somebody yesterday. I went to a little cookout yesterday afternoon. Ironically, another boiled peanut cookout. But I already had a freezer full, so I didn't take any. We were talking about if the next conservative president that comes in, the first thing they need to do, and this is from a very intelligent individual that doesn't come across as far right or alt right or right wing, whatever terms you want to use. And he said, man, the first thing they need to do is they need to pardon all of those cops tied in with that George Floyd nonsense, and they need to release all of the January 6 POWs. And my eyes lit up like a kid on Christmas. I was like, I've been saying it. I think the same thing. And they should. That should be day one. Cut the oil back on, get these pipelines figured out, and release the January 6 POWs and let all those cops tied up in that George Floyd nonsense go. They have paid enough. Give them some money. Give them Secret Service for life. Protect these people. These are good Americans that were doing their jobs. We got to make things right with the police in this country. What our government did to police over the last couple years since 2020 has been disgusting. We have got to let police know that we love them, we respect them, and we need them. You ain't got to agree with everything they do. Just like with anything, there's a bad apple in a bunch. But overwhelmingly, the police do way more good than they do harm. If you don't like the way your community's being policed, maybe you live around a bunch of people that need policing. Sean Tyndall said it best at the at Stokes Town Hall meeting the other day. That's the Commissioner of Public Safety. There's a large portion of folks in Jackson who ain't never really been policed. Really hadn't. And they're getting it now. And they think, it's too aggressive. I'm going to rewind just a little bit here. I guess we ain't taking the temperature in the room down. I'm actually cranking it up a little bit here because I know this makes it uncomfortable for some folks. I'm sick and dang tired of hearing people in Jackson talk about we need police, we need help fighting crime, especially the older folks. You know, they're the ones that are really at risk of them being robbed and killed and all this stuff, vulnerable people. And then they're the very ones that are upset about the roadblocks and the Capitol Police doing their job. I mean, what kind of dang city is so messed up that they sue, that they allow, and the city agreed to this. The people in the city are rotten. I would love to know who funded this lawsuit on the roadblock deal. I want to know who put the money up, because here's the people that sued. I want to make sure we say these people's names. This ain't hearsay. This is factual here. This is from the lawsuit over the roadblocks. Their names were LaQuinza Morgan, Lauren Rhodes, Archie Skiffer Jr., and Timothy Holcomb. They're the ones that sued the city of Jackson and police chief James E. Davis. And now now they basically have just completely neutered, took all the bite out of roadblocks. I mean, do you people just want crime in your neighborhoods? Do you just, they get mad at me when I say this. Jackson is a criminal safe haven. Mayor Jake Wyndham said it. Jackson is a criminal safe haven. And antics like this just prove it. You know, y'all get mad at me when I say Jackson loves their criminals. They love them. You can't arrest our criminals. You can't chase our criminals back from Rankin County. Once they get to Jackson, you should leave it alone. Then you wonder why Jackson just had its third year of 100+ homicides. It had never had 100 before. It's had 100 for the last 3 years. We'll probably end with around 125. So in the last 3 years, let's see here, pull up my calculator and shout out to the teacher who said I would never walk around with a calculator in my pocket. Let's see, 123 plus 153 last year plus, let's just go on and round it up. Well, let's just say through today, 100. It's 376 murders since January 1st, 2020 that we know of. We're at least going to end up with another 24, 25. We will without a doubt have had 400 murders in 3 years in Jackson by New Year's Eve. That is a whole extra year worth of murders at the 100 a clip. I mean, buy 3, get 1 free. That's what we're doing here. We're buying 3, we're getting another 100 for free. Unbelievable. And then, meanwhile, you got people out here suing the city over roadblocks. Oh, it's racist if you have a roadblock in a majority black city. Or they say you're targeting black folks if you have a roadblock in Jackson. Well, Jackson's a majority black city. If the JPD sets up a roadblock, of course it's going to be targeting black people. No, not targeting, but of course, it's going to be affecting black people disproportionately because they're overwhelmingly the amount of people in Jackson. That's math. That's just how it works. And I know I've said this before, but if you set one up in Rankin County, really good chance that it's going to negatively affect white folks more, overwhelmingly affect white folks more. The difference is the white folks who ain't messing around don't file lawsuits to protect the ones that did get caught riding dirty. Make it make sense. Y'all can't. But I know I'm a racist for acknowledging these things and calling you out on your BS. I tell you, that's got to be my hill to die on. Shove a sword in me. I'm ready to die on it. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. as the Clay Edwards Show discusses all that is going on in and around the city of Jackson.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Right here on 103.9 WYAB.